Looking at, though, I mean, looking at the sentiment across North and South, because what we seem to have also heard in this constitutional debate, or is it restructuring debate, is that, oh, a certain section of the country doesn't want restructuring. I mean, and that it would seem that that impression is beginning to, they're trying their best to ensure that that is not the case. I mean, we heard from the governor of Sokoto State, and we also heard from the deputy governor of Kaduna State there, saying that that is not the case. Northern governors are also asking for restructuring. Now, have you seen any shift, or have you seen any major difference in terms of what the North will be asking for in terms of restructuring and versus, say, what the South is asking for? Do you see any dichotomy in there?
Well, you see, first of all, there's a lot of misconception about North and South. These are not homogeneous. South, there could be Southeast and the Southwest want different things. It could be South-South. They want a different thing from what the Southeast wanted or what the Southwest wants. Or in the North, there could be differences and all that. But I think, first and foremost, there needs to be a proper enlightenment and education what restructuring means. Because like I said in the beginning, it means different things to different people. The moment you hear restructuring, to an average person probably from somewhere in the North, maybe, who is not enlightened enough or who has not taken the time to enlighten himself on what restructuring means or what he wants out of the country, he probably would think, hey, restructuring just basically means that the Southeast wants to secede. Or that, there shouldn't be revenue allocation anymore, that money shouldn't be shared anymore. So, and another person, like I met someone yesterday who told me that he is not against resource control, and he's a northerner, and he said, I'm not against resource control. I said, okay, so that's the first time hearing it for the first time. Yeah, he said, as long as whatever is offshore belongs to the federal government, whatever is onshore can be taken by the communities who are on top of it. He said, as far as he's concerned, that's what resources means. So that's the way he believes in resource control. So I think restructuring means different things to a lot of different people. And unless there is proper education on what restructuring means and everybody brings it to the table, which is what APC was trying to do by going to and listening to her, what do you understand by restructuring? How do you want to do? We itemize exactly what it means. Devolution of power, this, that, federal police or state police, kinds of stuff like that. Unless people clearly understand that and begin to make contributions based on that clear understanding, you would continue to have a cacophony of complete confusion of what restructuring means. And you probably wouldn't get the meat of what you want to get out of, because people do not even understand it properly. So everybody understands it from his own perspective. And unless that is very clear, we have a clear, enlightenment on what it means to everybody. It's just going to keep going back and forth.
Yeah, but I was just wondering, do you find any major differences in terms of what the North says it wants and what the South says it wants?
Yeah, I was saying that, what is the South asking?
Because many people argue that the South has actually led the call for restructuring. They have been at the forefront of this argument for restructuring for quite a while. Is it something you've noticed?
And I maintain to you that it means different things to different people. Even by going around, we know that for a fact that it means a whole lot of different things to a whole lot of different people in the South. It's like one end of the spectrum to another. Even in the North.
What would you say then is the common thread that you've noticed?
I think the common thread I think all over the country there is a belief all over from what we have gathered, and I hope I'm not preempting, whatever it is that we're going to have in the report finally. But from what I have, some of the places that I have been to, and some of the things I've heard and some of the people I have contacted, I know the common thread for a fact is that everybody believes that there should be some sort of an improvement on our system and how it works. There should be some sort of an improvement. There should be, a lot of people believe that there's over-centralization of power in the center. A lot of people, from north, south, east, west, it's like a general belief.
Now that you work in the center, you are definitely advising the president on social investment. Is it something...
Assisting.
assisting the president on social investment. Yes. Is this something you've also noticed as well, working within the system?
No, I think it's a huge, the federal government's like a huge part, and if you are in one area, it's big enough for you not to know what's going on around. What we are doing clearly is we have to work together in partnership with state governments, and I could see clearly where some of these issues are, because, for example, in our NPower, for example, we are supposed to recruit 500,000 young unemployed graduates, who have gone through education but there are no jobs, and provide some sort of direct succor from the federal government. But when we employ some of these graduates, and there's what we call the NTeach, probably they're supposed to deploy them to primary schools and secondary schools to teach. And you could tell we are waiting for the state governments to deploy them to schools, because most of these schools are owned by state governments. So you see, so we could see that we are the ones who are going to pay them. We are giving you teachers for free, and then we have to wait for you to deploy them. So we have to go to certain states where we see that, okay, fine, they are ready teachers, but they have not been deployed.
It's one conversation which we'll have to have another day in terms of what impact a particular program is having and how it's eventually impacting the lives of young people. But we have to thank you most kindly for coming.
Thank you very much.
Today. Ismail Ahmed is a legal practitioner. He's also Senior Special Assistant to the President on Social Investment Programs, and also a member of the APC Restructuring Committee.
True Federalism Committee.
True Federalism Committee, and a member of the APC BOT. And Sunrise Daily, that will be all from Sunrise Daily here in Abuja, and I think it will also end our look for the week. Thank you so much for staying with us. And Maupo Ogun is back to the team in Lagos.
So that clearly means a different thing to Smile then. Well, yes, indeed, that's the show as well today. Have yourself a great weekend. I'm Chamberlain also.
I'm Neil Tagbe. I was actually going to ask Ismail to determine which side the pendulum is swinging at, so where we're going as a nation. But thank you for watching. I'm Neil Tagbe.